Hello guys, welcome to this episode of 10 Plus, and I'm excited because we began a conversation in the previous episode with a legend of the skit world in Nigeria, and he has become a global brand. And again with me, I have the inspiring, remarkable, and legendary Mr. Kassim Braimah, aka Kassim Braimah. Welcome again to the show.
Thanks, boss.
So we're just going to continue with our conversation on Yawa Skits. And again, let me reemphasize here that Mr. Kassim is the creator, the producer, and the director of the popular YouTube hit skit called the Yawa Skit, and recently began a new hit skit again called the Three Broke Friends. Yeah, and that's become a big hit again on YouTube. YouTube is the hard market to crack, and you're doing remarkably well there. How did you find your niche? Because I mean, you could have done 3, 4, 5 skits and try your hands on a movie and try your hands on something else, you know, because you were pretty good with when you were doing the wedding videos. I mean, if you watch my wedding video now, it looks like what everyone is doing now, and you did that over 10 years ago.
Yep.
You know, and I think it's because of your, I don't know that word, this cinematography background.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So I mean, the thing you did for my wedding was like the first time I saw that done. You know,
wow.
It wasn't very popular at the time, where people did the full wedding video and did like a 2-minute clip that tells the whole story. It wasn't popular at that time.
Yes.
Before, you see wedding videos that are 3 hours long.
Yes.
You know, 2 hours long. Like the whole wedding thing is, you know, and you know, you were doing, you know, the actual wedding thing 20, 30 minutes, and then you have like a 2 minutes, 3 minutes clip, you know, which was remarkable. I still have my copy till now. But you could have done all of that. You could have kept doing the wedding things, kept doing the music video thing, which I know you don't do much of anymore.
Yes.
You still do some documentaries, I know.
Yes.
But you stayed in your space.
Yes.
How did you find that space? How did you find your niche?
Yeah, like you said, I did a lot of weddings. In fact, what I was doing then was I'll go and take weddings, documentaries, shoot those things, take the money from those things, like come and shoot videos that I'll put online for free. So that was the movement for me. Shoot weddings, take the money from the weddings, and use it to shoot Yawa Skit. You know, when it became more people were watching it, I just felt like, okay, my satisfaction was just that, okay, people were watching it all over. So it was more like I owe it to them to give them more.
But you had tried your hand on different things before.
They have a lot. Music videos.
Yes. Weddings.
A lot of weddings.
Yes.
In fact, I tell people I've shot everything.
Yeah.
Burial. Yeah, we shot burial.
Yes.
You know, burial, weddings, commercials, music videos. In fact, in Jos, me and a couple of my friends, we did a full-length movie that never saw the light of day. A lot of.
So is there any plan for movies in view? I mean, I know that your niche right now is in the skit industry, but is there, what would you say is next for Kassim Braimah? The next 5 years?
Definitely, there's going to be a movie. Definitely, you know.
Is there going to be a Yawa movie?
We'll see. But yeah, there will be a Yawa movie. There have to be a Yawa movie. You know, like they just have to be a Callisto's movie. There has to be a Yawa movie. In fact, there have always been a story about a Yawa movie, but it's not like something that like I'm walking towards and I'm like, okay, I just feel like when the time is right, it will all come to pass. It will all come together. But for now, I'm not the kind of person that aims like very far and just say, oh, in 5 years' time I want to do this. I'm the kind of person that just takes it a day at a time.
Go with the flow.
I go with the flow, 1 day at a time. You know, I used to crack these jokes with my friends when they say, they'll say, Kassim, you need to aim for the moon. I say, no, I am busy shooting the stars down. I'm using the stars to do shooting practice.
That's right.
So when I shoot all the stars first, and I'll have the clearer view to shoot the moon. So I'm more like taking it 1 day at a time. So for now, I just want to create more content. There are a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
So we have the Three Broke Friends going on. We have some short films.
And how's the Three Broke Girls? Three Broke Friends.
Three Broke Friends. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's it's a new show, so people are still getting used to it, just like when Yawa started. So people are still getting used to it. People are still getting to find out about it. So yeah, it's picking up.
Which I think is very important because it's very critical to diversify.
Yeah.
Even if you are within the context of the same thing, you can do the same thing different ways. And sometimes people don't know when to make that shift. You could be, for example, into fashion, and all you've done is a particular style that is working, and for the past 5 years it may work, but you've got to find a way to do the same thing in a different way.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily do a different thing, but you can do the same thing different ways.
Yes.
So, and sometimes if we don't make that shift early enough, and we don't, I'll call it reinvention. You have to find a way to reinvent what you are, what you do, what you provide. And many times people get stuck in old success, because however grand Yawa is today, in terms of the actual skit, not the brand, because Yawa has become a brand beyond the skit. So you have the Yawa skit, you have the Yawa brand. So however grand and how big the Yawa skit is today, a point is going to come that people will look for the next thing.
Yes.
What comes next? So, many years ago, they used to have this comedy, Mr. Bean.
Yes.
And it was very cool and all that. Eventually, nobody ever heard him say a word.
Yes.
In all the Mr. Bean short funny videos. Then eventually, there's now Mr. Bean cartoon.
Yes.
An animation for kids. Now you have Mr. Bean in big movies.
Yes.
Blockbuster movies. So there's got to be, he's still the Mr. Bean character. He still has all the traits of Mr. Bean, but we are seeing different sides of him doing the same thing. So I think that the Three Broke Friends is a very cool concept. You and I spoke about something like this years ago to say there's got to be the next thing. So I want to ask, is there a Netflix movie in view in the near future? Are you looking to doing something with Netflix?
Yes, it's of course it's the next level. I'm looking forward to it, but I want to be prepared. I want to prepare myself. I don't want to jump into it. I want to prepare myself to that point where when it comes, I can deliver. I can be ready enough. In fact, I want to prepare myself in such a way that they will say, oh, I like what this guy is doing. Come and tell this story for. I don't want to say, okay, let me go and hunt them and all. I want to be prepared. And it has always been my thing. Like, I'm not the kind of person that says, oh, okay, I want to do this thing. I'm looking for funding. I want people to come and fund my project. I'm always like, okay, let me do it small first. Let me do it small. Let me get my hands dirty. Let me make all the mistakes I want to make. So by the time I've fully ground myself and I'll be ready, and that time Netflix is going to say, okay, Kassim, come, take this amount of money, make this film. It will be easy for me.
Yeah.
So at this point right now, I am cooking myself up. I am grinding myself. I am putting myself through some pressure and say, okay, I want to do this. Let me see how I can handle it. So I'm just preparing myself for that phase, but definitely that phase is going to come where, okay, we want to do that next phase.
So another key vital life lesson is preparation. All right. A lot of success is when preparation meets opportunity. Many times we sought opportunity and we are void of preparation.
Yeah.
So it's very critical to keep preparing, equipping, preparing, and building, preparing, equipping, until you hit opportunity hits you.
Yep.
And that's what they call time and chance. Time and chance is not a commodity that profits a man that is void of preparation.
Yeah.
Time and chance is a commodity that only profits a man that is well equipped with adequate preparation. Yeah. And that's your story, even with the Yawa story, is basically time and chance that met with preparation. Yes. All right. Now, in all of the grinding, like you just said, was there any point that you got stuck, shut down?
Yep.
And then how did you come out of it?
Okay, so after doing the videos, then doing the videos was almost free, so it was basically how to sustain, then feed people. So you call your friends, hey, you come and play this role for me now, please. I'll pay your transport, I'll feed you. Or you come and play this role for me, like that. So you kept calling people, first year, second year, third year, right? Then couple of times we came to meet you. I came to meet you, and you were like, Kassim, I like what you're doing. This thing is very nice, though. Don't stop, then give me money. Say, okay, take this one. Don't worry, I'll take care of the next episode. So at that time, you find people, and then this thing again is when you are so passionate. That's one thing I've come to learn. Like when you are so passionate about what you're doing, like you are so passionate and it's convincing to people, they want to be part of that journey. I think that's one thing that really helped me. So most of my friends are like, this guy is so into this thing. And they're like, the passion just drives them to want to assist me. So everybody will like, okay, don't worry, I'll act for you for free. It's okay. Maybe that time I was using first-time actors. If I know actors, I just call somebody, one girl I know, I say, come and act. I don't know how to act, don't worry, we'll manage. So at one point, I kept doing that. And people were getting tired, doing free work, no money. Then Kalisus also got popular and there was no money.
Yeah.
Imagine being popular, you enter Keke, somebody will be like, sir, I have your phone, I have your video on my phone. Yeah, this guy. And he's like, oh man.
Or you look like Kalisto.
Or you look like, So it got to one point where even him would tell me, guy, this thing is becoming really intense. I can no longer be myself. I can no longer do my regular hustle. I can no longer just be on the street and do my regular hustle. But I'm broke. 0 naira, So that time you're finding that, okay, how do you convince these people to still do this thing? So at that point, there was now everybody dragging their legs. So when you say, guy, I have this other story, let's shoot. This thing that is not bringing money, And so at that time, I started to say, okay, the next phase is I have to look for money. I have to look for money. So I came to you too. I started talking to different people like, okay, Then I still had just one camera, I needed, extra camera, I needed mics, I needed tripod, all those things to make the videos. I needed better editing system. So I needed so much money. So I started meeting different people. Okay, please invest. I need money. Now thinking that if I even get the money, it would to make it easier. But I now found out that even getting the money will not make it easier because if I'm getting money, that means these guys that are doing this thing for me for free will say, you don't get money now. Now start paying us.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And I called everybody and I said, if I was going to pay you, how much will you charge me? And they started calling their fee. And I was like, okay, there's no way I'm going to get this money. Yeah. There's no way. If I pay this 100K, 200K, who is going to give me? And it was amounting to 5 million. Who's going to give me 5 million naira? I was like, okay, you know what?
And there was no earning at the time.
There was 0 earning. So how am I going to convince an investor, say, come and sponsor my passion? So I was like, you know what? I'll continue this route, right? I will just keep pushing everybody. So what I was not doing was, come and act for me, I owe you. Anytime you have a free shoot or you have a shoot and you want me to be part of it, I'll come and shoot for you for free. Come and act for me. I can help you do your own thing. So it was more like trade by barter to people. Then for Kali, it was more like, guy, just believe. It was a matter of fact, this is the first time I'm saying this, me and Kali were sitting down, we're talking about Yawa, and we both started crying. We both started crying and he's telling me like, guy, I can't go on. You can't keep dragging me on this. And I'm like, guy, okay, just trust me. Just trust me. I just believe this thing is going to work. And he's like, guy, I don't fit this thing again. And next thing, there was tears in his eyes and I could not convince him anymore. Both of us started crying. We were crying and like, oh man, I'm not doing this thing and there's no money, And at that time, I would go and shoot and use the money to shoot Yawa. I'll go and shoot wedding. They'll pay me 200,000. I'll carry 200,000. I'll come and shoot Yawa, So, but after that moment of both of us sitting down and just crying and just be like, man, if you do this thing again, it's really, he was telling me, you've ruined my life, You've ruined my life. I'm
popular with that money,
So I was like, you know what, let's just give it a break. So we went on a couple months break. One day he just called me and said, you know what, guy, let's do this. I feel you, but let's do this. It's better we're doing it there's no money, we even have something to do.
Yeah.
Then we are not doing it, we are just in the house, not doing anything, you know. And he said, let's do it. Then I, again, called a couple of my friends and he said, well, my brother, you know, I said, let's do this thing, you know, and still we kept on doing it, you know. I'll go and shoot, I'll edit myself, you know, just make sure I'm doing all the work. I mean, you know, there's no way somebody will say, okay, pay me. So the only thing that was the issue was actors, you know. So I just call these actors. I say, okay, don't worry, I'll make sure there's a very nice food on set, you know, some nice chicken, there'll be drinks, you know, just provide, make them comfortable, but you can't pay them, you know. And we just kept at it like that, and we started getting money, small. In fact, I'll say it for, they did say it here for the first time. The first time you need to pay us, it was 40K.
Wow.
40,000 naira.
Wow.
40,000 naira. And I called Kali, I was like, we just get 40,000 naira. You know? And he was
which is like
oh.
$100 now.
Yeah, you know. It's less than $100.
Yeah, exactly, less than
Very
$100.
Yes. That's like $50.
Yes.
You know.
That's go by black market rate.
Yes, you know. So, and from there we just kept on pushing, and everything started increasing, you know. And I was like, okay, I cannot keep doing this all by myself.
Yeah.
And I brought interns, you know, 1 or 2 people that started, you know, learning. I started teaching them how to edit while they are assisting me. You know, because then I cannot employ people now. So what I did was, okay,
get interns.
Yes, get interns. I say, oh, I'll teach you how to shoot. I'll teach you how to edit.
They work with you.
Work with me. You know, so I got a couple of people. You know, one of them even left me after he spent 3 years with me. We were shooting together. Now he's big. Simpa Samsi. He's big. He shot. He was the DP of Burna Boy's new documentary called Whiskey.
Oh, wow.
He's doing big jobs for Al Jazeera, BBC and co. And he was just an intern.
Wow.
So that time. So at that time too, I wasn't paying him. He was just like, okay, let's just rough this thing together. Let's rough this thing together. Until money started coming out, I'll be like, okay, see waiting come out to take small thing, you know. So we just kept pushing it like that. So yeah, there were times when I was
stuck
really
completely.
Stuck.
So is there any future? There are a lot of these other guys who are out there, popular, brother Shaggy, Macaroni, Tauma, you know, very remarkable guys. So is there any future where you see yourself partnering with them on skits and stuff like that?
Definitely. We've done a couple of collaborations with McAngel.
Yeah, I've seen
We've
those.
done a couple of collaborations with Sabalo, and that is a thing. You know, when the time comes and there's the right story, you know, then of course, you know, we can do because most of the time every character has their own journey, has their own way they want to tell their stories. So by the time if we come together and okay, the story that we're about to tell favors both character, you know, of course, you know, we in fact that's actually another thing we are going to be doing. People are going to see more collaborations between Callistus and Brother Shaggy, Callistus, Brain Jota, Callistus, and all these guys. Yeah. That's something we plan to do.
Okay,
yeah. But for now, we're not really chasing it, right? We're not really chasing it. We're just still. If you come to my space, it's mostly about it's still that same energy of we're not waiting. We're not looking outside. You know, that energy.
You are trying to consolidate.
Yes, I don't want to look outside. I don't think there's anything outside that will make us more successful.
Yeah.
And it might be good, it might be bad, but I always just look inwards. I always just feel like whatever we need is inside.
Yeah, and it's a model that works because what that does for you, it keeps you committed to consolidating what you already have. The reason why people don't last long in doing what they do is that they look for what is external. So a man is married and he thinks that he needs to look external for solution. A woman is married and she feels she needs to look external for either emotional solution or someone to report to. So if we all begin to internalize our focus, it creates less drama.
Yep.
In all spheres of life, okay? And I think that is something that we need to, I mean, there's nothing wrong with reaching out to other people and partnering for bigger projects, but you've got to have that foundation established. And sometimes we think that our current success affords us an establishment that tempts us to carry plenty burden and plenty load and plenty projects. And then eventually we realize that we are not as established as we thought we were. You know, so it's very important, I agree with you completely, that you fortify what you are building. And one of the ways you are doing that now is diversifying within the brand.
Yes.
Okay? And then you're also empowering a lot of young people, because a lot of people that you're going to be featuring on the 3 Broke Girls or 3 Broke Friends are going to also become popular and have better opportunities. I mean, without calling names, I know that there have been 1 or 2 characters in your skits that have made it to big movies as well. Okay? And many people don't know that they got their training with Kassim Braimah, you know, but it's your quota in contributing to the welfare of Nigerians, okay, building the industry in your own little way. So I agree with you completely that there's no big rush to having to collaborate with the other people out there, but I mean, it's in the plan. It's
in the plan.
Okay, and I think that is something that you should, you know, do. So it just helps your fans also just enjoy the unity they see.
Yes.
Where, bring Jota, Kalisu.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, so what I want to ask as well is that how have you managed being, we've talked about you having to be in obscurity this long, but how have you managed being behind the scene now that you are this popular? I mean, I know that you've not been on many interviews, and if I wasn't close to you, I probably don't think you'd have agreed to come.
No, not interviews.
Yes.
I don't do interviews.
Yes, so I mean, I know there are other producers in Nigeria that we know about. I don't know their names, but I know there are some of them that they're really out there. They are not always in movies. One of them also, I don't know if they're calling somebody, I don't know. But he features once or twice in movies, but we know him as producer. So is there any plan to build a brand around, because from all that we've heard, we see a lot of strategy, creativity as a director, because it takes a good director to make an actress or an actor out of a regular person. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to direct someone who's already into the industry, but to have to do that level of bringing out a skill from someone who has never had experience with acting takes a lot of, you know, I mean, you have your onions, I mean, you know your onions, whatever they say. So, I mean, you're good as a director, you're good as a scriptwriter, you're good as a creator, you're good as a producer. So is there any plan to begin to build a brand around Kassim Braimah?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
Because it has to be. I think there should be, because I think that there are a lot of people who have been wondering who is the guy behind Yawa Skits, and because it's a norm that the key how do I guess call them? The lead character usually, most cases these days, own the show.
Yeah.
You know, so people do not really know who is the guy. And I'm sure that if certain people want to reach out to you, I mean, they don't know that you're there. So I think that there's got to be a plan where, you know, we begin to see a brand around. And for me, and for 10 plus, that's the objective, is that people need to see the force behind this remarkable success. People need to see it. And it's important that you want to remain obscure, but it's also important that people see the man in obscurity. You know what I mean? And now that this has happened, you know, because there are a lot of directors and producers who want to work with you. It would be nice to have your face, you know. People need to know Kassim Braimah.
I mean, okay, first of all, I think I'm building the brand in, maybe this is just my mindset. I'm building the brand in such a way that it's not just me.
Yes,
it
so I
outlives
agree.
me. It's the brand can be successful and it's on its own, right? So I can actually get to a point like, okay, there are other phases of that I want to like venture into, apart from building this content with these characters. I'm also looking forward, maybe if I eventually have that kind of money, I'm really looking forward to working with other filmmakers and say, okay, you know what, this, you can now come with your own show, right? And I can produce, I can work with you on your own show, and it's you as a director, probably me as a...
But the part of this is that, when I remember many years ago when they had, so this is the closing question or the closing conversation. It wasn't really a big thing at the time, even though she had a lot of connections with, but now she's doing very big stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow movies get credibility from just hearing that Mo is behind this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Same thing with AY. Basket Mouth. So now you may not want to watch it until you hear that, oh, this is the person behind it. Okay. And you go across the shores, you have Tyler Perry, for example.
Oh,
if he's own, he makes it really Tyler Perry's.
Yeah.
All right. Because most people wouldn't watch that movie if he wasn't the one producing the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at some point, there is a place where the producer and the director becomes a brand that validates the products. So I'm saying that, yes, something, see, I'm just this is open consultation.
Yes.
I collect dollars too, okay? So there's going to be a point, because you've done, my point is that from these 2 episodes, we see that you've done a remarkable job. In fact, you've created a model of success that should be taught in industries, in academies, how to build a successful brand, within the African context that works globally. You may not realize it, but that's what you have built here. So a point is going to come that now you may get validation now from Yawa Skits, but the point is going to come that skits and movies will get validation from Kassim Braimah. To just know that there is a new Kassim Braimah thing out there. So I think that food for thought.
Okay.
We need to begin to,
okay. There's a point.
You know what I'm saying? So when you say Tyler Perry's movie, this other guy, I don't recall his name, but it's Kule something.
Yeah,
he's also, exactly. Yes. So there's a time that people were rushing to watch his movies just because they know that it is
from this
movie.
guy.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a place where you build a brand, which you have done. You may need like a year or more to refine it a bit more, but having come to this point, you've got to build the next brand, which is you as a producer, director, and creator, to validate the next products that will roll out. Because
actually, there's a point there.
Yeah. So you see Virgin Atlantic and all the Virgin brands, and you see Richard Branson's face.
Yes.
So a point came that Richard Branson did his own adverts.
Yeah.
You get a lot of things that get validation, even down to non-profitable organizations. You say is a Bill Gates Foundation, then it gets validation.
Yes.
All right. So a point comes where the face behind the brand becomes the validation for future brands.
Okay. Yes.
With these few points of mine.
Yes.
I hope you are convinced and not confused.
I am convinced.
So guys, we've come to the end of this great conversation. Again, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to leave your comments on the 10 Plus channel. And don't forget to go to the Yawa Skits channel on YouTube to check out those great videos. And also don't forget to check out the Yawa TV channel with some new episodes of the Three Broke Friends. Thank you so much, Mr. Kassim.
Thanks,
it's been such a delight. I mean, you are a true inspiration. So guys, see you on the next one. Thank you very much. God bless you.